Hello and welcome to this week's astrology forecast. So we have a new moon this week. The sun moves into Aquarius, and then we have a new moon at 1 degree Aquarius on the 21st. So the week starts out with sort of a lot of new energy. Also, there's a pretty big pattern going on astrologically, which tells me we could get some very big news and big moves and big things happening in the precious metals markets. Likely even this week we could get some kind of an announcement from Trump, some kind of a White House announcement. Now, we've had them in the last few weeks. They have been making moves, changing banking rules and forcing all the banks to close their short positions in silver, not by February, I think, by the end of February, I think it is. So, and then there's a lot of really big things happening with the banks right now, all related to silver. So this is actually huge. There's really huge things happening. Most people don't notice how they're all connected, but they are connected, and these are really big things. So I do think there's some kind of an announcement coming from the White House. And, mm, you know, Trump is doing things that are kind of tying the hands of some of the big banks, particularly JP Morgan, who he's an enemy of because JP Morgan debanked him and his family during the, January 6th fiasco. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes that is not sort of in the headlines, right? Not making news, and that people don't really understand that there's a lot of it's not just politics. It's like vendettas and, games and things that they can't say because they're all in on certain things together. And it's just like what's actually happening is very, very different than what's filtered through the news. And speaking of silver, it's above 94.50 now. So it's closing in on 95 on the COMEX. It's much higher in the rest of the world, definitely above $100 in the rest of the world in the physical, real, actual, bona fide, get your hands on it, get some silver in your hands. Markets, it's over 100. And gold is above 4,006, almost 4,700. I think 4,685 when I checked. So yeah, things are definitely continuing to move in the precious metals market, and we're going to keep seeing that. That's going to continue. We haven't seen anything yet. This is only the beginning. But the full moon in Aquarius on the 21st is ushering in a whole new cycle that is about, technology, AI, all this digital stuff, and also, crypto money, digital money, that these things are all being like ushered in a really big way. And you're going to see some very fast things happening here in the next couple of weeks, I expect, especially since Mars also moves into Aquarius on the 24th. So all this energy rushing into the world of technology. And of course, the battle, the arms race for AI is really heated up because, of course, we have, we're fighting against China for who's going to get the best AI technology, which is kind of a joke since China knows how to steal our technology, and then they just slap on some more improvements. So they are able to get ahead of us because they get their hands on what we're doing. And of course, there's all the data centers and all of this. So there's all these things are going to be coming into the news a lot. The power issues, the electricity, the electrical grid, things about shipping, supply chains, all of this is going to really ramp up and into the news cycle as we close out the month and starting this week when all these planets start moving into Aquarius. But this energy already started last week. Venus went into Aquarius a couple days ago, and Mercury also moves into Aquarius with the sun on the 21st. So Venus went into Aquarius on the 18th. So we've had these planets all traveling together. They're continuing to travel together. I've talked about this. Venus, Mercury, the Sun, and Mars all traveling together. Now they're all moving out of Capricorn and into Aquarius. And we're about to get a lot more stuff that's related to the technology and all the digital world and all the things and also social groups and awards ceremonies and sort of glamour and celebrity and all of that is also going to be heavily highlighted. I expect to see a lot of sort of frosty, glittery, very expressive, colorful kind of maximalist fashion going on with all that because it's a very Aquarius, right? So that's happening. And so this is a lot of shift of energy. And it's just a big shift of energy. There's just a lot that's happening at once, and a lot of these patterns, like I said, there's a big pattern that is influencing the precious metals, and that's going to cause a lot of like social pressure and also big announcements in the social scene going on, and big falls from grace in social settings with some of these celebrities, beauty influencers, things like that. I've said that before. Big exposures of various people. But this is definitely a week of power plays, especially early in the week where Pluto is involved in all of this. So we're going to see a lot of really big, sudden, major events happening very quickly. We're hearing about Greenland. I mean, listen, we already just smashed Venezuela and took them. So Greenland's got to take us seriously. It doesn't really matter what all the talking heads are saying because Trump could do anything at any time. Okay. And he does these things in a very calculated way in order to cause a reaction and to get everyone else to fall in line and do what he wants. I mean, he's pretty much a master of that kind of psychology. I'm not saying he's a good guy. I'm just saying that's what he does. That's how he operates. So we're going to see probably a lot more going on around Greenland and maybe even Canada. I mean, these things are all on his agenda, on his to-do list. Take over Canada, take over Greenland. I mean, he's trying to do it all like right now, like in the next same 5 minutes. He's not wasting any time on any of this. And we're going to see some probably big events around world tensions, okay, this week. And then moving into next week, things are going to get real intense when Neptune moves into Aries. And that's going to be another whole shift of energy. So just buckle your seatbelt, hang on for dear life. Make sure you've got some Dramamine so you don't get motion sickness from this bumpy ride. Things are going to be pretty wild this week. So hang in there. If you hold silver, you're in good shape. Hang on to it because things are going to get very, very bumpy with that price. Also, we've seen it go up and down and go crazy. And you could actually see the COMEX price go to nothing. That could happen. Okay. So, the physical stuff, that means something. All right. Just know that there's a real detachment going on between the real physical world and the digital one, and where there's all this sort of hyped up fake stuff. So, hey, pick your side. I'm in the real world. That's where I want to be. So that is what I have for you guys this week. Buckle your seatbelts and be prepared. Talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye.